Hi. We're live.
Is it live?
Yeah.
Live now? We
We
did
need an
it.
on-air thing all of a sudden.
Definitely one of those things where I'm like, oh, let me make sure that my phone doesn't start pulling over the sound on the stream. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hello. Thanks for tuning in tonight on our newly scheduled Wednesday evenings for Esports and Coffee. Gamer's award-winning Esports and Coffee, if you can imagine. Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Hey.
It's so hot. So hot in here. What? It's so hot.
Wild.
Lovely. Yes. So, needless to say, we're going to spend before we get into our topic tonight, we're going to spend a little time to definitely celebrate that a little bit because we were all a little shocked, a little shook, but really so unbelievably humbled to be named the organization with the best DEI initiatives from the Game Hers. So thanks again to everybody that nominated us to begin with, all of our coffee beans that have been big supporters of us this whole time. It really means a lot. We started Esports and Coffee as friends who were looking to make a change, wanting to kind of uplift voices, get words out of Twitter, turn them into action, into the real world, show the esports industry that what we knew to be true, not accept the fate of what's been given to us. So we couldn't have dreamed of a better community than what we currently have and what we hope to kind of cultivate as we move forward as well. So thank you for being with us. Thank you for being a part of our growth journey so far, sharing with us, supporting each other as well, and believing in a better esports ecosystem. So from all of us and some of our behind the scenes folks as well, from Cody, from Anissa, we just want to say thank you very much.
How do you do it? Is it this way or is it?
It's this way. This way. Gang signs, guys.
I don't
We
think I
love
can
you.
make that
This is how I show
happen.
my love.
Thank you.
You could just go like this too.
Am I doing it?
So we're all gonna share just a quick little sentiment about like one of our favorite reasons that we love esports and coffee. So one of my favorite reasons that I love esports and coffee is just the opportunity to have a Discord server where there's a lot of really good thought-provoking conversation that happens that I think is important. And not only do I feel like there's action and there's meaning behind it, but there's also a space for us to just be ourselves as well. I feel like many of us, I'm sure, are in like 50, 60, 70 different Discord servers. And this is one that I really feel like we're able to kind of have our professional career hats on in one regard, but we're also able to kind of let that go and be ourselves as well. So it really feels kind of like a blend of both worlds kind of beautifully. So that's kind of one of the things that I love most about us.
Yeah. I guess I'll go because we're in order, right? We go like that. I think we've said it a million times. We kind of like started with hopes to like drown out the negativity on Twitter. I tend to not even check it, so if you really want me, you probably should message me. But we set out to drown out the negativity and to bring people together, because a lot of times what happens is it's not always the correct voices that get the most action. That might not be the word. So amplifying people that are supporting each other, it was really important to us. So I think that's what we set out to do, and we kind of just created a server, like AJ said, where people could come together. I love anytime somebody could network and meet people that they probably wouldn't have crossed paths with, or they just interact on Twitter. I think Twitter gives surface level, and this gets a little bit deeper. So I like that people can build real connections and grow from it.
I love that.
Yeah. For me, it's the connections that everyone's made and the help that like people have been able to get just within the community. Like, we've been trying to really strive with our weekly One Good Wednesday, our Thursdays for UTIP, and our new health and wellness like New Year thing. And it's just I feel like everyone's just so supportive of that, and it really reminds us that it's okay to share your lows and your highs and the support that everyone gives.
I love that. I think for me, I grew tired of always feeling like I just didn't fit in anywhere I tried to go. And especially within this esports space, and I just don't ever want anybody else to feel that. And I love that while not our initial intention, what this place ended up being is a place where everybody fits in. As long as you want to grow yourself and you want to find the best version of yourself and you want to be accountable for your mistakes, and we want to celebrate everybody's successes like there are successes because they feel so good. That's what this space ended up being, and that's what I love the most about it. Is just we're just 4 people. You guys are esports and coffee, and you guys came here and turned this into what it is. I know AJ gave a nod earlier, but we want to give a nod to 2 people. You don't see their faces on screen, but they're the other parts of esports and coffee is Cody and Anissa, who do everything, whether it's supporting for branding and ideation to, community management, social media posts, proofing everything, or even just talking us off the ledge. And so just in general, this place has just become such a great space for everybody to just sort of grow personally for yourself with no agenda, with no metrics. We're just here to have a good time,
Mm-hmm.
What I like.
Is there a pretty thing that you can show?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. Good segue, Jackie.
Other than our pretty face.
Oh, she can do curls now with it.
Look at this thing. Look at it. It is full glass.
It's very
heavy.
Solid glass. That was what I was like.
I wonder if you shine light through it, it's probably a prism.
A prism, yeah. I bet.
Mm-hmm. My light. Look,
She's
see there.
Gorgeous.
I need a ring light. That's what I need. But well, do you want to say something? Your face looked like you were going to say something.
Oh, this is what they did. I'll reenact it for you. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, now we are going to present the award for the organization with the hottest founders and the best DEI initiatives.
That's how I remember it.
That's how I remember it too. Okay, and the winner is Esports and Coffee.
Cue for crying.
Yeah,
we all cried.
I sat perfectly still. I didn't hear them. I was shocked. Lindsay Postel's at the table in front of me. She turns around. She's like crying and screaming. She's like, "Oh!" I go, "What? Where am I? What were those words?" And then I hear them on stage going, "I guess no one from Esports and Coffee is here. I thought we had some." I go, "Oh, God, let me go on the stage." It was crazy. That was awesome.
That's why there may have been just a slight pause before somebody got on stage.
Yeah, and she's shorter, so she has shorter legs.
We human corgi.
Yeah,
yeah, it is.
Actually, it's Cody's real life American Girl doll.
Mm-hmm.
So, we thank you tons, and also if you want to hang out with our community and see our even more crazy quirkiness, remember to join the Discord. Meet and gather, foster community, celebrate each other, get help through your struggles. Even give us crazy ideas. We want to include you, and we promote growth. So anything that you think would help us grow as a community, we're open. We're just 4 little minds and 2 bigger minds that are behind the scenes. So thank you a ton, and have fun. Join the Discord. There is this crazy bot that posted the link. So Go.
Yeah, and like just yesterday, we may all collab and write a children's book. Who knows?
At like 7:00 at night.
That was the funniest. Jason is the funniest person that I know. That was the funniest thing I ever read, and he came up with it like in an instant. And I don't know how. And you guys are just gonna have to join the Discord if you want to hear more.
It
But
would make a brilliant children's novel.
yeah, the up,
The queen
high,
who
down,
just
low.
gives high vibes. Yeah.
It was amazing.
It's in the works. Don't worry. We're going to be releasing it next fall. Yeah. Just
yes.
do wait.
Stay tuned. Well, while we have a lot of fun here, we're not just here to have fun. We're here to learn. And today we're talking about the topic that we've affectionately named how to not let bad apples spoil the bunch. So, for those of us here, we believe in support, progress, and our overall mission to do better. You all know that. That's why you're here as well. But we're not ignorant to the world around us. And so, even though we are focused on finding positivity and being positive and promoting positive mindset, it does not mean ignoring the negative. That's inauthentic. That's not going to get anybody anywhere. Believing in positivity doesn't mean you're finding positive in the negative. It means we're learning from the holes that the negative has kind of presented to us or sort of provided so that we can create opportunity together. And that's really what we focus on when we talk about in the eras of positivity, in the eras of using positive mindset, knowing that it's not shutting your eyes and shutting the door to anything negative that's going on. That's not where growth comes from. Growth comes from the difficult parts and the difficult conversations and addressing difficult topics. We want to make sure that we're doing that as well. And we do talk a lot in here about the noise. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Sometimes the noise can play tricks on you. There's a lot of folks who are in our space for the wrong reasons, and we all know that, and we all have our own lists of who those people are. And there are folks in our space who are here for the right reasons, and sometimes it gets frustrating to see something that's just noise drowning out something that's really good work. But really, in the end, it's up to us to kind of power through and keep doing the right thing. So today, really what we're here to talk about is grifters, is con artists, are the people and the folks and the organizations that are in our space for the wrong reasons. And how do you navigate that? How do you work through it? How do you stay committed and connected to the mission that we have at hand? How to let other people find their passions and their dreams, and you want to support them on their endeavors. But at a certain point, you have to understand where is this going? What is your goal here? What are we trying to accomplish? And I had like a bunch of categories of kind of areas that I thought in our internal conversations and our conversations on our Discord that I think we saw a lot of this effort in, that I think we can just sort of break down. And I'm going to start with everyone's favorite, the esports consultant.
Ooh.
Love the esports consultant. What I love even more than the esports consultant is the esports consultant who has never worked a day in esports, because there are a lot of those too, where it's well, I know what esports is. I could talk about what esports was before anybody else could. When people didn't know what esports was, I was able to. Yes, Karen Ruggles. Anybody who uses e-sports, e-gaming, E capital S. But it's that talking about it is not helpful to anybody. You can't motivate me through something if you haven't done it. Telling me why having Minecraft in my classroom or, STEM curriculum and esports is going to help that. Telling me this is going to help you because students really love it is cool. I can read that. Telling me this is how I did it. I contacted these people. This is where you have to start. This is what you're going to have to do with your IT infrastructure. This is who you're going to have to hire. This is what you're going to have to know about publisher relationships. Those are the conversations that take you from I can talk about it to I've done it and I need to help. And I think that in some older industries, you can be a student of finance that have never worked in finance and be an expert in finance and be able to talk about those things. In the esports industry, we are too new to have best practices that can be taught, that can be learned and regurgitated and treated as I'm an expert. we are too new for somebody to have learned something 7 years ago and then continue to talk about what they've learned. For anybody that's working in esports regularly, I know we talk about it all, the four of us on this call, but in everybody in our Discord, you are relearning every day if you work in esports. Things change every day. And if you're not prepared for that, if you think you're going to kind of start a situation where you learn what there is to learn and then you apply and then you move forward, then this is not the industry for you. And I feel like we have a lot of folks that kind of bit off one piece of the pie, one piece of content, one subject matter, and then they run with it. And you see them at every conference, or you see them all through LinkedIn, and you see them on all these interviews, and you see them getting quoted, and you see them getting paid opportunities. And you start to realize, oh, what? I think you're a professional panelist. I don't know.
For me, I think we have to join the calls and let the people know. Like, I remember I got a LinkedIn message and someone wanted to hop on and talk about writing a esports book, and he's like, I've never been in esports and I don't know much about it, but it's booming right now and I really want to hop on that train. I'm like, well, wait, like, you need to understand, like, you're not gonna get a lot out of the community if you do this. Like, people are gonna backlash you, people are going to not support you, and you're not gonna make any money. And I don't know what he ended up doing. I don't know if he still follows me on LinkedIn or anything. But it's calling those people out, and that's so hard because I want to keep up with our do better message and never be negative towards someone, but at the same time, like, there's just a lot of people in this space right now, and I mean, we've talked about starting our own consulting, like, firm group within esports and coffee, but I just feel like free information is also available at the same time, and for someone to be like, well, you can pay $3,000 for this certificate or this curriculum, and you're not gonna, like, it's not gonna, we talked about this last week, not like a degree certificate, but like curriculum certificate, and it just,
yeah.
The unfortunate part is there's so much room for it. I mean, I have an example. Back when I was at my former school, I had somebody that was local who wanted to get into PT for esports. However, had never worked in esports, had never actually watched esports. And we were connected through, like, a mutual friend. And I invited that person to an actual live LAN event. And I know it's not necessarily a grifter, but it's somebody who is continuing to push that they're going to be PT and let students come there and rehabilitate them, but not know anything about esports. So I know it's not a consult, but it's just like a side thing. And I literally said today, there's no guidebook to creating an esports program except Jackie's dissertation. So there's no actual guidebook, and what works at Sari's school, Sari and AJ's school, and what worked for Jackie at her former employment and the new place it's not going to always work at the same way. So you have to approach things differently. I think a lot of the problem comes with the higher ups at some of these institutions, that they have mutual friends or people within business that they can get seats at the table, and they trust them and they're going to take their word as gospel. Yes, you can make so much money if you start an esports program. It's going to bring you in so much money, instead of saying, actually, it brings the kids joy because it's what they love to do. It's not going to bring you any more money. It's just gonna give people a place to belong.
I think my two things on this. I think my favorite with kind of like the esports consultants is when one of our dear friends, Clerky, gets emails about starting a program at Maryville. So those clearly are folks that haven't done the proper research are not innate to our ecosystem. So that obviously is a red flag of somebody that you probably wouldn't want to work with moving forward. But if we've got any new folks that are in the chat, if they're a new director, coach, program lead, what have you, what is some good tips or what might be some advice for being able to tell when an org really kind of knows their stuff, isn't it for the right reasons? Because I have seen, just kind of like the new bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, director that may not have that skill set yet to be able to differentiate. What are maybe some tools of the tricks of the trade or whatever that phrase is to be
want to
helpful?
plug Antor's Discord for that reason, because so many people talk and ask questions like that daily, and just to get advice from other coaches, like it's a very active Discord for collegiate coaches for those specific questions, like, hey, have you heard about this company? And there'll be like 10 or 15 responses or no, I haven't. And when no one's heard about a company, I think that's when we all need to be like, who are these people, and really look into. It's like, well, probably shouldn't. Like I messaged Sarah. I messaged you yesterday or the day? Not sorry. No, stop phone. I was like, I got this LinkedIn message. I'm like, is this real?
Yeah.
So just.
And I mean, I do the same thing. Like that's what I mean, Chris Postel gets a lot of these from me, and I think he's in chat right now, but I'm like, hi, owner of my company set up a meeting with this person. I have never heard of them. Have you? He's like, I haven't. What do you know? I go, I know this. He goes, then I know who it is. And he's done the same thing in reverse, since we both, have production related things. And it's like to have, you bring people to your corner that you do trust, and you gut check with them. So like my first thing I'll always do if it's an individual is I go to LinkedIn and I see who their mutuals are. And quite frankly, I know where the grifties are and I know where the reels are. So if it's like I start sorting through and I go, they're connected to all of these people, they're not for me. I'm not going to respond. Or I'll spot somebody. Like there's one thing that I thought was real scammy. It gave me a real bad taste in my mouth. I start scrolling through part of their website. This was years ago, and I come across Travis Yang, and I go, oh, okay, I guess I'll entertain it. And I know that's a crazy thing to think. Like I did end up reaching out to him, but like that was enough to me to say, okay, well, I trust Travis. So if Travis is aligned with this and I see his picture, and it wasn't like there was a ton of esports directors, then I feel like that feels good. And then I'll ask, and sometimes people say, honestly, like I've had people ask me, hey, we're thinking about getting involved in this with this organization. I see that you guys are as well. And I've said, I honestly, I don't know what they do. They put our logo on things, and I was sold a bunch of stuff that was going to happen, and it didn't necessarily happen. Not bad people, but here's where I'm at right now, or here's what it is. And then you start to like kind of see who others are associating with, and where they're sort of who do they say, oh, I love this person, and where that kind of connection goes. It's helpful. But like the gut check, either in a Discord, I still do it. I mean, I've been doing this job since 2015, and I still twice in the last 2 weeks have posted in the public NACE Discord, does anybody know this company? Does anybody know this person? Because that's what we're all here to do. And so we should also be leaning on people in our space to ask them those things, and be willing to share things in the space with people who are asking. We protect ourselves. We keep out the people that need to be kept out without gatekeeping our space as a whole when we work together. And so to be able to say, yeah, I did speak at that panel last year, and I the only reason I did was because it was local. I didn't feel like they really understood esports, and I kind of wish I would have said no. I don't think those are bad things to happen. And then from what I've been doing, like I know everyone's talking like, how do you turn people down, or how do you say no? I've started saying flat out on LinkedIn and to emails, because I get probably 10 to 15 cold emails a week. I just say, I have no need for your services. Best of luck. And I just leave it at that. If they didn't get my name right, if they didn't try to get my name, if it feels like a cold email, if it says, hi, first name, or whatever, if they spell esports with a capital S, quite frankly, if they have a hyphen in esports, if they talk to me about I should think about building an esports arena on my college campus. If they say anything about how gaming can help students engage, anything that shows me that they don't know who I am or they didn't do any sort of research or I don't even bother. That's kind
Yeah,
of where
it's not worth the opportunity. Copy pastas too. We love those,
yeah.
right? You know that it's not geared towards you. I got an email the other day that I could tell the whole email was copy pasted, except one section was a different font that they copied from my bio. And so that was a big tell. I don't even need to ask anyone at that point. So
I want to bring up awards. Sorry, I don't see it in a run of show.
Do
but
it.
I got a LinkedIn message for some that I've been shortlisted, but I have to pay like $1,900 and go through an interview process just to attend the conference. I'm like, no thank you. He's like, can I just, hop on a call with you quick? And I'm like, I have no idea. It was for the Hale conference. This is for health and education. I've never heard of it. It seems like a legit place. So I'm just like, the fact that I have to pay to, again, nominate for an award, like, the awards are just getting out of hand. And we're coming off a high from winning one ourselves. But I'm hoping this next year is even better and more inclusive of how we award awards and how people are chosen to win. Like, it's not just a popular poll and it's not just experts. I really think it needs to be a combination of both. Tempest Awards.
Can we talk about, I did on the heels of us saying you shouldn't be negative on Twitter. I was real negative on Twitter last week. But I'm still mad about it, and I sat with it. You guys know, I brought it up probably a week and a half before I sent it. I said I want to get my thoughts together, but this really pissed me off. I talked about it in our Discord, and then I'm pretty sure it was Rachel who got me real riled up. She goes, yeah! And so then I was like, I have a right to be mad, and then we went forward to it. So I feel like I don't even want to give them the traffic to drop the link, so I'm not going to drop the link. I'm going to tell you, though, everything that it is. I'm not even going to beat around the bush. The Esports Business Summit folks, who I don't know, but I'm sure are lovely, they put on the Tempest Awards, as you might have heard, which was an esports awards. Full Sail's actually been a finalist for one of those awards in the past. It's a big awards show. They decided to launch a Women in Gaming and Esports Awards, which, cool. That's exciting. I'm going to pull it up just so I have it for reference. Hold on. I was not prepared. I'll keep talking. I can't do two things at one time, but
I can talk while you're looking.
Okay.
One of the comments, we need an Esports and Coffee Awards. We've talked about it more than once. So if the community keeps, I don't want to say badgering us, that's not the word, promoting it and really, if you continue to suggest, you'll wear us down because we're all big softies.
I think so.
So
I found.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, you go.
No, you go. Because it's you do.
Okay. So they are hosting E&G Awards, top women in esports and gaming, celebrating women making waves in the industry. I see this and I get super excited. I love awards. I love celebrating people. There's no better feeling to me in the world than when someone that you love wins something great. And I honestly think it feels better than when you win something great. I don't really know how to explain why it does, but it just does. You just, like, I would still cry if I think about Jackie going on stage and accepting the Scholars Award. It's just, you just love it, right? It's like amazing and it feels so good. So I see this come through and I'm like, awesome. I know so many, let me use their words against them. I know so many women making waves in the industry that I'd like to celebrate, and I can't wait to see what this is. So I start clicking through it. and I see, okay, start my entry. Let's see what this looks like. And there's a cost associated with it. And I understand that. They run anywhere from $250, well, now we missed that deadline, to $400, depending on when you submit. Well, that stinks, but not unusual. You know, I understand that putting on a show costs money. I understand people need to, you know, recoup those costs. Totally get it. Empathize with it. Understand all those things. That's a lot, but let me just check out the categories and, you know, maybe I can like use some savings and I can find somebody or pick somebody. And let's see what the categories are so I can start doing that. And this is when Scary Sari really reared her ugly head. Because let me tell you about the categories of this Celebrating Women Making Waves in the Industry awards show. We have Creative Ninjas, Production Pace Setter, Public Relations Guru. Oh, we have Legal and Licensing Legend. We have a Data and Research Trendsetter. We have Customer and Client Support Maven. We have Event Management Aficionados. We have Social Media Groundbreaker. We have a couple of things in talent. We have Streaming Legends, Game-Changing On-Screen Talent. Yeah. So, not only are there no awards for actually playing, coaching, leading, or anything of the sort, because it seems as though this organization has just decided that's not a role a woman would fill. You're not going to go to a general esports award and find categories for legal and licensing. It's cool that they have it. Those are usually focused underneath like a general business umbrella, something else, but they're breaking apart those smaller business categories, which I get and I think could be awesome as a business style awards. But what this organization did was they pulled the jobs that they think women could have in esports, and that's what they chose to recognize. And what they chose to do was recognize them with a cutesy bullshit, not legitimate, not defined, not respectful award name. Where is the award for Content Creator of the Year? Why is it Social Media Groundbreaker? Where is the award for, I don't know,
I just lumped in with the other awards, like the regular awards. Why does it have to be specific for women? Why the segregation again?
Like, or if you're going to segregate it, treat it this. If you're going to like highlight us because you want to highlight us, then do so in the same way you highlight everybody else. And it feels like they diminished the work that we do by putting a cutesy word on it and giving it a cutesy sounding award. And while they go to their other award show and they provide a robust Team of the Year, Player of the Year, Athlete of the Year, something that you can proudly put on your resume or on your LinkedIn or on your trophy shelf case, whatever people put trophies. And there's that legitimacy. They made us sound like children. They made it sound like funsies, like Student Council President Awards. They are making us pay still $400 to submit somebody for these cutesy, not legitimate awards. And it feels so unbelievably insulting. And quite honestly, what it feels to me like is that they are, and this is one of my biggest pet peeves in this whole thing, but they are using marginalized communities, DEI efforts, and all these aspects to generate more revenue without supporting those organizations. So I don't expect people to do everything out of the goodness of their own heart. I totally understand that people need to make money. Everybody needs to make money. I would like to make money. It's lovely. Money is great. But to profit off of the space without contributing to the space is shitty. And so to collect money from this space, and to collect money in this avenue, in these regards, to highlight women, saying I'm positioning it this way because I need, maybe I'm going to create additional revenue stream. And then in turn, not validating the awards themselves by pinkwashing them and making them sound like less than awards makes you the truest definition of a grifter. And you get my Grifter of the Day award. Celebrating women esports thing.
Established today. Yeah, AJ asked how you can tell if somebody is a grifter as a new person if it's behind a ridiculously high paywall.
Okay, last thing about awards. I think we talked about this before, but I think, and this is my own personal opinion, but I think that there should be a panel that judges, that's a percentage, a popular vote. But I don't think if you're on a panel, you should be allowed to be up for an award, because then you're voting for yourself. But I think it needs to be more transparent. This past year, everyone's complained about just about every single award show, and they're all doing just a little bit differently. And I don't think this next year they're all going to get on the same page, which is fine. But like even the game Hers switched how they did from last year to this year, and there wasn't any real transparency as like we were all nominated and then there's finalists, but there wasn't like a path of, okay, it's going to be nominations and then it goes straight to finalists. There wasn't any communication as to, if I would have known that, I think I would have voted for more people. I thought that there was going to be like another round or an announcement of something, and I felt a little gypped, which is my own fault, but I feel like there just needs to be more transparency again.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say I've served on any awards committee that had one. I served on it just to try to help. I love awards and I think people deserve to be recognized. I'm also 20 years older than most people in this space, and I just want it's good to be able to help their time come, and go through that. I want to give Charlie an award for the best on-screen tale that we've had on this stream. But it's that, like, when I sat through the Game Hers Awards, I was on their advisory board last year. I don't know if they had one this year. And I liked the process that they went through. They also let us pick the process. So, like, just full transparency, the process was each person on the advisory board got assigned a category, and the category could not be a category that you were associated with. So, like, for example, I would not have gotten, like, top collegiate program. I don't remember. I think my category was team of the year, streamer of the year, something like that. Anyway, so in the votes, as they came in, there's 2 people per each category. Your job as the advisory board was to select the 5 finalists. The 5 finalists were the top 3 vote getters from the initial run, and then 2 people selected by the advisory board committee panel, so that it was a mix. And I thought that was a great way to do it, because there you go. But I also felt like I have so much power and control in doing this to pick. What if I don't know of somebody, and it just, so a lot of times you could go through and it's the top 3 vote getters. You could either pick the next 2 if you wanted to. You could pick somebody else on that list if you wanted to. Or, for example, you could say, like, for team of the year, there was a lot of people in the category that weren't team of the year. And this was before the death of Minnesota's all women's team. But I said, hey, why don't you add them? That would be a good one. We're short in this category, and they're a team that I know is one. And it was great to be able to have that. But I also wish that was transparent to everybody else in the awards. So I told as many people as I could, here's the process. Here's what we were going through. Same with Scholars Awards. We just told everybody, Clerky and I both did. I know we told everybody that could ask, here's our process. Here's what they're having us do. Because that's what it should be for. It should be transparent. It shouldn't be secretive, because when it's transparent, you understand and you realize why things happen the way they do. And when it isn't, you wonder, well, how did this happen? Is there something I could have done differently? And that's where I think, like what you were saying, Jackie, that insight into the process matters so much.
Okay. So I'm really glad that we're bringing up this next topic, because I was, what's the word? ignorant in what a grifter actually was, because I thought I was one. And at some point, we've all been new. So I thought that I was a grifter, but Sari set me straight. And that's why we're going to talk about it. Because you can't get a job without experience, and you can't get experience without a job. So where's the line between fake it till you make it? We all have imposter syndrome, and the grifting con artist. If you're asking yourself, you're already on the right side of this coin. When starting out or making a career pivot or trying to learn a new industry, we invest in ourselves. We commit to learning whatever there is to learn. And I love that there's constant PD opportunities, roundtables, just getting together once a month. Tom, he's in here. He made a new monthly thing. Danielle, she's in here. She has a monthly research esports group. Hop on both of those. Join the conversations. But when did we all get started in esports in various capacities?
Where you cut out.
Sorry. I'm having such a bad day. Continuing education, networking versus selling, and lifelong learners versus soapbox speakers.
So I'll say this. I put this in the run of show because Jackie said, I watched an old video of, I'm going to throw you all under the bus, Jack.
No, it's fine.
Jackie said, I watched an old video of myself from 2021. Actually, I think she said Caroline found an old video of me.
She did. She found it up YouTube.
As Princess Caroline of the up high down low kingdom. So Jackie's like, and in 2021, I'm listening to myself talk and knowing what I know now. I had no business saying what I was saying back then. I was a grifter, and I said no. And then she said, I don't know if I know what grifter means. But it's the difference between, we're all learning. We're not trying to all expect everybody to be experts right out of the gate. We're all going to have these periods of time where we're starting something new and we're doing something new. The difference is, you didn't say, I wonder what esports is. Pay me $3,000 and I'll tell you. You said, I wonder what esports is. Let me learn about it and let me figure it out and let me talk to it. And it's the investing in this space for the right reasons, continuing education, helping support each other, those roundtable discussions, awesome. Generating a profit off of people who don't know anything, that don't know that you don't know anything, by presenting yourself as an expert in a world you've never worked in, makes you a grifter.
I think, Jackie, just if we went back and watched like our interview for that for a certain podcast, I'm not gonna name it, and it has nothing to do with the podcast. I think it has to do with me. I was only a month into working. How would I have been somebody that needed to be on the podcast? And it's funny now because I actually vividly remember being on this, and the three ladies, Jackie being one of the other people on there, so one of the three, talking and thinking, wow, they know so much, and I do not belong here. I do not belong here. I don't know how to coach video games. This is what I'm thinking. Yes, esports competitive. I'm like, come to find out that really wasn't exactly my role, but like Sari said, there's a huge difference in trying to do better, learning along the way, improve who you are. I believe right around the time that started, even right before that, Jackie had given me her dissertation. That's why I knew about it. And I read through it, and it was helpful. And esports is ever changing. So don't get yourself down because of something you said a year ago. Think of how much progress the whole industry has made in that year. So in that time, it was right. It was what was happening in your life, and it was perfect. But a year later, I was gonna be like, maybe not quite perfect. Nobody's perfect, right? In that time, it worked for where you were at and who you were, and you've grown that much more. So that's what the huge difference is. I think that you can see certain individuals and organizations and consultants and et cetera, put them under the list. They're still saying the same thing after 3 years. after 4 years. They're not changing. And that's a red flag, wouldn't it be?
It's also too like, don't you want to hear from new people? Don't you want to hear new voices? Like, I we've all talked about this, but like I'll say this for myself specifically. I feel like I am overexposed. I feel as though I'm the lady that gets the panels. So if there's a panel and there's no lady and they need a lady, I get a phone call. And um I'm perfect. I look great. It's great. I do a great job. It's
Have
not
great
bad.
hair.
Great hair, but I'm 44 years old. I should not be on any panel about girls and gaming and how they're gaming. I have not been a girl in a very long time. And can I talk to it? Sure. Are there people 25 years younger than me that are doing it right now? Yeah. And it's that time of trying to show and pass the baton through or pass it down of the I can still talk about anything anybody wants me to talk about, but some of these conversations are not right for me. And it's the grifters don't want to do that. They don't want to let go because that's their bread and butter.
And they get to travel. I love seeing some of the same people traveling all over the world, and I not gonna lie, I'm a little jealous of some of the places they've been to because I want to go back.
You've seen one Spring Hill Suites, you've seen them all. I mean, whatever.
Double tree.
Double tree.
With cookies.
I'm sorry.
Double tree in Dallas for the cookies.
Yeah. Hey, there's a double tree on the beach here, so I think we need to do it on the beach.
Okay, deal.
Sorry, Jackie. Just the double tree.
No, you're fine. I think you're up.
Yeah, I'm gonna. When you work in a new industry, at some point, it's shush. You make me read things. I lose my charm.
I don't. You could read it before and then just like.
I can't. That's not how my brain works. You just gotta let me give talking points. Anyway, at some point, it's a sea of subject matter experts, right? It's all. I can't.
You got this. Just take a breath.
And scene. I've already screwed it up. It's
fine.
This will go in the blooper edition. Yeah, I'm red too. Okay, anyway, it's all new. There are no best practices or decades of research for institutional knowledge. There are different approaches to a series of subjects. So how can you tap into what you do offer without crossing the line into con artistry territory? Artistry, I added some syllables. We think it can be summed up in one word: authenticity. I promise I did read this. I knew. Okay. Be authentic in what you offer and in what you still have to learn. I am, in fact, a grifter right now. It's okay. Get specific, dive into your niche, and grow from there. So, you can look in community development, tournament organization, and event production. I think a lot of us run lands and want volunteers. So learn from the people, build a collegiate program from the ground up. Oh, who's done that? None of us, huh? Marketing and social media strategies for esports. That's super helpful. That's a slightly different beast than just general marketing. Content creation and production. Developing student leaders. Give them roles that can offer it. We were going through in my group, in my organization, not group, going through interview processes. We already know that kind of an idea of who the students already are, but it gives them experience. So for their next interview, growing esports in high school spaces and connecting education to career opportunities in esports. You're welcome. That took me 10 minutes to read that.
You did a great job. I gave you 8 to 10 minutes for this section anyway. But I think the thing here is that, obviously we focus on do better. That's our big mission and that's our big everything. And so we can talk shit about grifters all we want to, but how is that helpful? We want to make sure that there's a helpful side of this. And it's that, what do you look for in making sure you're on the right path? And what do you look for in how others are pursuing things to make sure you're engaging in the right aspect? And I'll give an example of one of my favorite conversations that is the antithesis of what we're talking about here, which what we're talking about here is, settling in on a subject and being able to speak to that subject. You know, not just I'm here I am, I'm esports. What can you do if you have drilled yourself? I'm going to guess this means haven't drilled yourself too far into a single niche. You don't need to drill yourself too far into a single niche in esports because there aren't really a lot of single niches in esports, but it's finding areas that you're going to amplify to get away from general esports, and find what those categories are. I would actually recommend Nezi NA. You should join our Discord and you should chat in there. And if you tell us the kind of stuff that you're working on and what you're doing, we are totally going to design a niche for you that's going to make a ton of sense, and we're going to make this work. But anyway, sorry, I don't know how to do multiple things at one time, and this is why I wanted to be the behind the scenes person of this stream. But
Joke's on you.
Joke's on me. I think it's that, how do you figure that out? How do you make sure that you're being authentic and that you're soliciting authenticity in who you're connecting with? And I had someone once say to me, "Oh, I have a event I'd love to bring to your venue. It's my guess is they asked for it in like a month away because everybody for some reason thinks we're just sitting empty waiting for esports events to come in." And they kind of articulated what it was, and I was not interested. So I said, "Oh, thank you so much. Nope, we're all booked up for the year. We're not taking in any more event requests." And then they said, "Oh, well, I can also help work your events. I'm a TO, I'm a streamer." "Oh, thank you. Nope, we're good. We utilize students for that." "Okay, well, I'm also a coach. I can do Rocket League. I can coach this." I go, "Okay, now I don't think you're good at anything. Anything that you just said, I don't think you're good at, because I'm not going to find the best event producer who's also the best Rocket League coach, who's also the best TO, who also can run a really great stream. And the fact that you think that you are that means you don't really know a lot about this space right now. And understanding each area and how it works is super important and super crucial in being successful in your job, but positioning yourself as an expert is not it. I have to know the concept of streaming and how it works as I'm navigating the ins and outs of my job, but that's been it. So I'm never going to sit in any conversation and say, "Let me talk to you about streaming and why it's important and what you should do and how you should do it." That doesn't make any sense. Could I sit there and regurgitate words that Bennett has said to me over the years? I sure can, and that would be a real shitty thing to do. And that's where I feel like we're drawing the line and what we're kind of trying to figure out here.
I think a way to see authenticity also, especially in niche things, but when learning, is when you see individuals. Like, I try to go to as many like webinars or panel things that are online as possible. And if you see in chat, you're going to see people who are wanting to learn. It's not necessarily people who are talking, but you see others that you recognize that are coming to the same ones, and they're actually there to learn, and they're asking the questions, and they're trying to engage with each other. And I think that's showing that they're learning themselves and not trying to just be a grifter. But they're there for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite things is honesty too. I think that lends itself really good to this authenticity subject matter expert talk as well. Especially like with my students. So like my specific course is esports and gaming management. I might have some collegiate experience and can talk on that with moderate amount of certainty. Community as well, I think I've got a pretty good lock on that. But when I'm talking about like the pro side of things, when I'm talking about the K through 12 side of things, I outsourced pretty much the entire material that I have in my class to other people in the space that had that subject matter expertise, because I've never worked in K through 12. I've never worked on the pro side of things. So I reached out to Jackie, and she helped me immensely to figure out, okay, this is really kind of like I had an idea of how it worked, but I didn't want to be the one to put on airs in front of students and be like, this is how it works in K through 12, and then my student goes and works in K through 12, and they're like, this is not how anything like we learned, and then that's not cute, right? And then on the pro side of things, I leaned on Burns and Clerky, who have worked in the pro scene, right? So I think it's also that level of honesty to be like, hey, you have a question about X subject. I don't have the answer. That's not my area. But I know X, Y, and Z who does have the answer, and I'm going to find it for you. I think having that level of like confidence and honesty to like say that in a conversation, whether it's with students, whether it's with colleagues, I think the ability to save that in a conversation also is that added layer of authenticity that you can give yourself.
I love that.
What do we think?
I think we're doing good, right? I think you can go, Jackie.
Okay, our next stream. I'm really excited about this. So we're starting something new, and our next stream, we're very excited to announce Tom Screech, and I think we announced him last time, but he's gonna join us for a discussion about the ins and outs of an independent contractor in esports. Not being paid is not an option. How to protect yourself, find opportunities without selling your soul. You know, the juicy stuff. And I'm actually really excited about this because I just had a conversation about contracts, and I'm like, hey, you should come watch our stream. We're talking about it in 2 weeks.
We're going to end this world where people don't get paid for work they've done. And we're not going to end it at the grifter level, so we're going to end it at the worker level. We're all getting paid for work we're doing, guys, from this point forward.
Yeah, and look at that. Like, there's a subject that we would love to talk about because it's very important right now for us to have this conversation, and we're bringing in somebody who has a ton of experience on this subject. Exactly. Look at us doing better.
That's the thing I think it's important, is that you're knowing everything is not expected, nor does it make you look amazing. Knowing who knows everything, or knowing who knows the different things that you're trying to look for, is the right way to do it.
Networking, knowing the right people.
Yeah, being able to connect.
Join the Discord to connect to those people.
I permitted the term ass, by the way, just so everyone knows.
I want to
we're PG-13.
Like, what is...
Wow, that chatbot got real aggressive.
Is how being a jack of all trades to expand my horizons could bite me in the ass in the long run, via virtue of me being a master of none of these traits. Broadcast talent is the dream, but it feels like I need to stray from that goal to stay afloat in the future. So I do think that for you to be successful in esports in the current climate, you have to understand all of the moving pieces. So having a comprehension of something and being an expert in something are two totally different things. And so I think what you're talking about, I'm talking about Botanically Depressed's comment, is actually common. And that is the fact of you are having a comprehension of every area. And that's what's going to make you successful. Because if you need to start a stream, you can start a stream, even if that's not the thing that you're an expert in. Or if there's something that's missing, you know who to call. Or if there's something that's being done, you know where it needs to be done, or you know who to call. Don't be afraid to have a comprehension of the world around you, and try not to equate a comprehension with being a jack of all trades. Working in all of these different fields and having an understanding of how work is done in all of these fields is two totally different things. Having an understanding of how work is done in all these different fields makes you the most marketable hire you could ever possibly be. Trying to become an expert in too many different fields is what's going to kill you or bite you in the ass in the long run. I'm going to keep saying it so maybe our Twitch bot doesn't.
It's been permitted. It's fine.
Okay, great.
You can say ass now.
I have one more thing to say before we wrap up. Just so everyone knows, today marked our 25th stream.
Wow.
I just counted.
Wow.
Yep.
You were counting. What do you get for 25th
yes.
anniversary?
Does that mean we can rent a car now, or is that 25th?
Yes. We can rent a car.
Oh, well, for the stream, Jackie, we've got you this present.
Thank you.
You're gonna love it.
You get an award.
She
Ooh,
can
the
do
big
curls.
G5.
It's
Yes.
curls with it. It's a multi-purpose. It's a
Come
multifaceted item.
Hey, Queen Caroline, you want to come say hi?
Queen Caroline.
No, do you want to come say hi? No, she's shy.
I'm good.
She's like,
She says, not today.
Not
My
yeah.
subjects do not deserve me today.
She was sitting in her chair. We were talking about this outside earlier about Queen Caroline, and she was just like, she's totally gonna do it.
Awesome. Well, thanks everybody again for your continued support over the past 18 months. It's been spectacular. The award really is all of ours collectively as a group. We wouldn't be where we are without everybody's just love, support, and constant making up ways that we're going to write novels together and support and connect and just be just truly one of my favorite spaces on the internet. So thank you so much. We're really thrilled. We love you guys. And on that note, are we all out of coffee? We're all out of coffee, ladies?
Coffee. I didn't have any.
Look, we are. I had to close it first.
Just to make sure.
Yours is see-through, so it's
Yes. Good night, everybody.
Bye, friends.
We'll see you soon.